Well, hello everybody. Oh, thought I was going to fart. I'm investigating the no start on the Aprilia. And last time it just went, when I press the button, it's just going click. There's a relay just going click. Now, the start procedure on the Aprilia is there is a headlight relay up there, and that's what I can hear clicking. Because what it does is when you press the start button, if the headlights are on, it turns them off, so you've got maximum juice to the starter motor relay, which is here, which is why I'm in the process of taking the tank off, and then the starter motor's down here. I don't think there's any loose cableage down here. That all seems alright. Last time, literally, one of the posts had just come, one of the cables, literally the nut was just finger tight because it vibrates. It might be an idea to thread lock the nuts on, actually. I've just checked the battery. We've got 12, I think it was 12.8 volts, so that's okay. I've retightened the terminals because these motor back terminals are very, very odd. I can never get them to tighten down properly. If you've got flat cable edge, you might even just be able to bolt straight into the battery instead of using these spacers, but I tend to use the spacers. But that's one thing I really dislike about motorbats is this fucking stupid universal connectors. Anyway, I'm now in the process of getting the tank off, which is bolt either side up there, bolt either side there, bolt either side here, big bolt at the back, whop the fuel line off, which is under there. Fuel filter. Nice. I put that in, and then it will wiggle its way out. You've got to sort of lift it up and jiggle it back a bit because the tank, as you can see, sits under here. So you don't have to remove any of this to get the tank out. You can do it. And also, other news. Beep, 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 more Temu shit. Sorry, I mean great buys from Temu. Now, because this is now in the olive green, I've got an idea of putting like 650 or something on the side, joggers with big tits. So I got a set of stencils. Jim, if you kept the camera straight, people would be a lot happier. Well, fuck them. Anyway, so basically these stencils look the army style stencilage. So you can actually interlock them. So put three together, something like 650, something up there or there perhaps, and a bit of the old brand new paint job. So anyway, I am going to take the hose off, lift the tank, and we'll just check the connectors on the starter relay. Nice, and I'll bring you back once I've done that, you lucky people. Penis. Temu. I forgot to add, I've bought a tank protector for the ZZR as well, because I wasn't going to pay 30-40 quid for an Oxford one. Bastards. So yes, that one, I don't know how much it were, a few quid. I think it was still close to, like, it was over a £5, but it was the only red one I saw, and it's absolutely hideous because it's shiny and black, but the ZZR's red and black. So I bought that one as well. Right, go away Jim, I'm going. Off. I undid the fuel pipe at the filter, which is my idea, and it just slides back. Do that again, Jim. It slides back. Anyway, here's the starter solenoid. It is brand new. Well, you know, it's a new fitment. And I think last time this cable came loose, she's nice and tight. But I think we have a culprit, ladies and gents. That one's loose. So let me just tighten that up and let's try it again, because there's fuel in the carb, so it should bark off. Nipped up that cable because if this cures it, I'm going to thread lock it. So let's find out what's going on. Don't really need any choke, I just want to know if it's going to go. Interesting. Okay, that is interesting. And the battery is fully charged, but it probably won't hurt to charge it up a little bit. The one thing I am going to do, I am going to take the solenoid off, clean the posts, and then put it back. As you probably heard, I've just soiled myself. Right, I'm going to try and put the camera in here, and I'm going to bridge the contacts of the solenoid. Because if I bridge the contacts of the solenoid and she spins, the problem is with the solenoid. And they're not expensive. They're only about 20 quid. So, I mean, if that's cooked its goose, fair enough. But I'm going to clean all the contacts up. So let's put you down and see what happens. Hope so, because I don't like doing this. Right, on. Well folks, I think we've diagnosed the problem. I am going to clean this contact up. Don't worry about the melted boot, because that was the other solenoid. I might even go so far as to replace this cable. There is a slight bit of corrosion on this one, on the end, as you can probably see. No Jim, because the camera works fucking crap. But I'll clean it up. But it would suggest there's probably something stuck in there. Who knows? I'm going to just try it on the button quickly. Yeah, I think we might have a stuck solenoid penis. I don't know if you can see that, but it looks like one side has got a little bit hot. There's a little bit of meltage there, which could suggest that this solenoid is scrap. But anyway, I've cleaned the terminals up. There was a bit of corrosion, and I'm going to give it another go flow and just see what we get. If it doesn't start on the bottom, I'm going to replace the solenoid, because that's the obvious problem. Yeah, and that's all I can do. I've cleaned the lead. I've actually chopped the rubber boot off the end of this because it was meltage anyway. They're there to stop accidental grounding, and because it's under the tank and it's under here, it's out of the way of the weather anyway. I'll put some dielectric grease on it. But yeah, so I'm going to get a craft knife, cut that bit of melty plastic off so we know that the cable sits properly, and then I'll give it another go. But I think it's definitely going to be a replacement solenoid. Yeah, there's plenty on eBay, places like that. I think this was only about 17 quid. But yeah, interesting that the cable came loose again. Obviously they're going to have to be thread locked. I mean I should have learnt my lesson early, because I've practically thread locked every other bolt on the bike. I've thread locked the entire back end, because I come home from a ride once and the rear light was loose. It had shook all its bolts out, and it shook the bolts out for the under tray. So yeah, we learnt that lesson early. So yeah, looks like we're going to have to do the solenoid as well. For the sake of 20 quid, I'm just going to order one anyway. But you know, if it makes the bike start in the meantime, goody two shoes. The only pain in the arse with this is that it's under the tank. You have to remove the tank to get to it. If it was a Japanese bike on a side panel, it wouldn't be an issue. If it didn't start at the side of the road, I'd just bridge the connector. But can't really do that on this one. So that's where we're at. Non-start issue solved. Please like, share, subscribe, send cake, tits. And thanks to Carl for my Patreon. Much appreciated, Carl. In fact, your Patreon contributions are probably going to buy the new solenoid. So we're going to have sponsored by Carl on the side as well. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. New one ordered. I've ordered one from Electrex World, and with the postage, I mean the postage was a £5, let's be fair, it turned out to be about 30 quid. Year's guarantee. So if I do have any problems, at least I can get it replaced. The solenoid is probably stuck open inside, because the wires here, there's a power on the ground, and basically inside there's a switch, a bit like a set of points, and when you press your starter button, it activates the switch, closes the contacts, and then allows the 12 volts to go between the two posts and down to the starter motor. It's a temporary switch, which is why when you take your thumb off the button, you know, the starter motor doesn't work. On rare occasions, actually I say rare, I had this on the ZX10 when I put a cheapy Chinese one on, you can press the starter button and this will fuse. This will basically stick closed, and the starter motor will just carry on spinning and carry on spinning and carry on spinning and carry on spinning and carry on spinning. And then you risk burning out a starter motor. You certainly risk burning out this, because these get hot, or the posts at least get very hot. And I had to really quickly pull the side panel off the ZX10 and pull the contact, and then fully enough it worked alright after that, but I did replace it with an Electrex one. I think I got this one off eBay. The Electrex one actually looks the same, but it is their own make. So yeah, I'll have to investigate where I got this one, because this isn't that old. If it turns out to be an Electrex one, I'll send this one back as well, and then I'll have a spare. So yes, so I've just cleaned it up. I've just bolted it all back together again, and it's not having it. This isn't even clicking. But if I bridge the terminals, it activates the starter motor. So job done. Now got to wait for the new solenoid. As a afterthought, you nearly said foreskin then, didn't you? When you're tightening these up, the posts, and the same goes for a starter motor, do not gorilla them, because there are wires basically attached to these posts. A lot of the time these posts are only sort of press fitted into the plastic. They've got a little metal bushing which they fit in, so it's really only the plastic that's holding them in. If you over tighten the bolt, you'll spin the post, which can then break the wires. So just something to be wary of. Knob.